Hello, I'm going to show you how to create a connection between Microsoft Access and Visual Basic. First, you need to create your source or access file. In my case, I created an access file named food. This is where we're going to get our data from. Also, I already typed our codes so we can save time. So let's start. As you can see here, I already created a button and a data grid view. Let's change the name of button to display. Let's start with the coding. Import system.data.olodb. This will allow us to use certain commands at olodb. I've used con for olodb connection and da for olodb adapter. The provider is the one representing Access 2007. Well, 2007. For 2007 Microsoft Access, we will use Microsoft.ace.olodb.12.0. If you will use another access like 2003 or other versions, this particular code here or provider will not work. For the data source, this is where the data is going to come from. How do we get it? So we go to your access file, right click, properties, see the location. We will copy paste this to our Visual Basic. So our Visual Basic will know where the access file is. Just add the actual name of the file, food.accdb, or well, it's because it's an access file. Okay, moving on. Dim as ds as the new dataset. This will represent the data that's inside our access file. Dim dt as new data table. This will represent the table from our access file. Con is equal to new OLEDB connection. This will create the connection between Access and Visual Basic. DA is equal to new OLEDB adapter. This will get all the data we need from our database or from the Access file. You need to change or to put the name of the table here, which will be the data is going to come from. In our case, I named the table food. ds.tables.add open close parenthesis dt. This will create the table that is going to appear in Visual Basic. Con.open will open the connection. ga.fill will put all the data that you need from your access file to the table. Data grid view 1 is our data grid. Data source equals dt.default view. This will make all this data in the table appear on the data grid view we just created. And finally, con.close. Now let's try if we're going to connect. As you can see here, all the data from the access file is seen. That means we are connected. Now we will talk about saving this actual program, because the data source that we input here was based on this computer alone, or the address will be only detected from this particular laptop. See this part here, it's got the computer's name on it. So if you are going to use this other than this laptop, somewhere else maybe, this will not work. In order for you to use this program to other computers, you need to copy the access file or the database to that Visual Basic program. And here's how. Copy the access file. My documents. Go to the Visual Basic you're using. In this case, Visual Studio 2010. Go to projects. As you can see here, the projects folder is empty because I haven't saved that Visual Basic file. We are going to save that Visual Basic file here. Save all. Let's name it food. Browse projects and save. As you can see here, it is already saved in our projects file. After entering that Visual Basic file, go to bin, debug, and paste the access file here. And finally, change the data source. To just the access file name, food.accdb, and let's try again if it's going to run. Taking a while for a response. Okay. Okay, here we go. As you can see here, even though we changed the source file, it is still working, and it will probably will, even though if you're going to copy this program in other computers. So that's that. Thank you for watching. I am Nick Anthony De Los Reyes from BSIT 222, and sorry for the delays.